Hi everyone, welcome to this class. We shall be discussing about expanding given expressions, and later on we shall be going into solving quadratic equations. So for instance, we're talking about expansion of expressions. You can be given an expression like expand. We're looking at an example. Example 1, you are told expand x plus 2y x minus y. If you are told to expand, what you will do is you will take this first one, this part you multiply to that, again you will take this one, multiply by that. That is the first process. Then of course you will repeat the second step. You will repeat this one multiplied by that. Again you will take you will take this multiplied by that, then this one multiplied by the second one. So I've said the first thing is you take this one multiplied, this one you multiply by this, x multiplied by x, you will get x squared. Then you will take this x, you multiply by y. So this is step 1, step 2, this is step 3, and this is step 4. So step 1, you will take x multiplied by x, which is x squared. Step 2, you will take x multiplied by y, which you will get as minus xy. If you take step 3, 2y multiplied by x, you will get plus 2xy. Step 4, you will take 2y multiplied by minus y, you will get minus 2y squared. If you simplify this, of course you will be able to get these and these are the same. We have xy. So 2xy minus xy, you will get minus this plus 2xy minus xy is the same as you write. We can write it 2xy minus xy minus 2y squared. Remember, we interchanged, and there is no problem with interchanging. I'm dealing with this part. So this will be the same as x squared plus, I can take xy is common outside xy into 2 minus 1 minus 2y squared. This will be the same as x squared plus, remember 2 minus 1 is 1, so we will be having xy minus 2y squared. So we have simplified that particular expression. So that is the process you will take always to be able to expand. We can take another example. Example 2, another example. If you are told to expand maybe 2a plus 3b, then you are given maybe 4a minus 2b. If you are told to expand such an expression, like I said, the first process, you will take this number multiplied by a, this number again multiplied by the second part. So we shall be having, or another process, another very good method is, you can write these 2 times. You can write this expression 2 times. 4a minus 2b. You can repeat it, leaving a space in between 4a minus 2b. Then now, the first part can be brought here, which is 2a. Then this other one can be pulled here, plus 3b. That is another second method of expanding. Once you do this, you can now be able to get 8a squared. This times this, you will be able to get minus 4ab plus, if you solve this, you can be able to get 12ab. This times that, you can be able to get 6b squared minus 6b squared. Remember this one, we can be able to factor out ab. This is the same as 8a squared minus AB is common, so I can take AB outside. I remain with 4 minus 12 minus 6B. I've factored out AB. So once you are there, you can be able to get A squared minus AB. Remember, 4 minus this, 4 minus that is minus 8 minus 6B. So minus times a minus is a plus. You will get 8A squared plus 8AB minus 6B. That is your answer. So that is the process you take whenever you are expanding expressions. So you can be given such an expression and you are told to simplify. If you are told to simplify, it means you actually need to expand. That is what we do. We are now moving into another section whereby we shall be dealing with solving quadratic equations. Solving quadratic equations. Our next one will be solving quadratic equations. Solving quadratic equations. Solving quadratic equations. We're going to look at methods. Methods used. The first one, we can use factor methods. Factor method. Number 2, we have formula method. Number 3, we have completing square method. Completing square method. Number 4, we can talk about graphical method. Graphical method. These are methods that are used to solve small quadratic equation. When we talk about quadratic equation, we mean that the variable has power 2 as the highest power. That expression or that equation should be having power 2 as the highest power. Then for it to qualify as a quadratic equation. So my next move is now we want to look at an example, so that we are able to solve such kind of equation. We'll take the first example as solve using factor method. Using factor method. We want to solve x squared minus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. These are plus there. We are solving using factor method. X squared plus 4 minus 12. If you look at this particular thing, you can be able to see the product is minus 12. So what happens is you look for a number, you look for a quadratic equation. The first thing, the first step, a quadratic equation takes the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. This is a general form of a quadratic equation. Ax plus bx plus c. So these two, because it's the highest power, and that is why we are calling it a quadratic equation, meaning the highest power is power 2. So what happens is, for us to use factor method, we will use this one is called the sum. This is called the sum, the coefficient of x. And then A and C are called the product. So if you take this constant multiplied by this coefficient, you get the product. This, the coefficient of x gives us the sum. So we have been given x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. So it means our sum will be equal to 4. Our product will be equal to, remember the coefficient here is 1, and the coefficient there and this constant is minus 12. So the product is 1 times minus 12, which is equal to minus 12. After identifying the sum and the product, we will go ahead and look at the two numbers. The two numbers, when you add, they will give you 4. And when you subtract, they will give you minus 12. So you need to get the two numbers. When you add, they will give you that. And if you look keenly, you will get 6 and minus 2. If you take 6 plus minus 2, 6 plus minus 2, you will get positive 4. If you multiply the two numbers, 6 multiplied by minus 2, you will get minus 12. So those are the two numbers which can give us the sum and the product at the same time. So once you get these two numbers, we will use them to replace at the center point. So what happens in my next step will be x squared plus 6x. Remember, I can put it as x minus 2x minus 12. So what I've said, these two numbers will be used at the central point. And if you check 6x minus 2x, you will get 4. So there is nothing we have changed about that particular equation. So after you have done this, we can now take the two expressions, these and these. So the common figure there, the common expression or the common variable there is x into x plus 6. This particular case, I can take out minus 2 into x plus 6. Once you reach at that particular point, you can see what is in the bracket is the same. The bracket expression is the same. So you pick one of the expression, which is x plus 6. Then you join these two. What is outside will be joined to form the next bracket, which is x minus 2 is equals to 0. Remember, this was equal to 0. This was equals to 0. Once you are there, you can now equate these brackets independently to 0. So the first bracket, x plus 6, will be equated to 0. So in this case, x will be equal to minus 6. The second bracket will also be equated to 0. X minus 2 will be equal to 0. So therefore, x will be equal to positive 2. X will be equal to positive 2. So remember, that is how you determine those values. That is how those values are determined using that particular method. We can also look at another interesting area whereby you are using the formula method. We want to apply the formula method. The other methods, we shall look at them later on. We look at the formula method. Where you are told solve using formula method. Solve using formula. We are going to solve this example using formula method. Formula method, the formula is given us. If you want to get the value of x, it will be equal to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That is the formula method. That is the formula method of solving quadratic equation. Why are we learning about the formula method? Because it is not all quadratic equations where you can be able to use the factor method. Those equations which give you the solution as a decimal point, you cannot be able to use the formula method. That is why we have to learn the formula method to help you in such cases. So we have been given the equation as x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. So whenever you are given such a case, whenever you are given such kind of an expression, remember the general form of an equation is given as ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So it means the coefficient of x squared is 1, so it means our a is equals to 1, our b will be equal to 4, our c will be equal to minus 12. So once you have identified those variables, we now want to use this formula. So our x will be equal to minus b. Our b is 4 plus minus the square root of b squared. B squared, we talk about 4 squared minus, remember we have 4. What is the value of a? Value of a is 1. The value of c is minus 12. Divided by 2 multiplied by a, which is 2. This one will give us minus 4 plus minus the square root of, if you take 4 squared you will get 16 minus, if you take this you will get plus 48 divided by 2. This will be equal to minus 4 plus minus 16 plus this, you will get the square root of, this is 14, 564 all over 2. Remember the square root of 64 is 8. So this one narrows down to minus 4 plus minus 8 all over 2. Once we are there, we can break this one further. So we are saying we are having two expressions. In this case, x will be equal to plus is equal to minus 4 plus 8 all over 2. Remember, I've decided to use the plus first. We're having a plus and a minus. So we want to start with a plus. The second one we shall use a minus. Will be equal to, so in such a case you will get this one minus 4 plus 8, you will get positive 4 over 2. Therefore, x will be equal to positive 2. If you use a minus, x will be equal to minus 4 minus 8 all over 2. It will be equal to minus 12 over 2. You will get minus 12 all over 2. Therefore, x will be equal to minus 6. These are the same values that we found when we were expanding using factor method. So that is how basically we apply this method. And I've said it is not all equations which will give us the factors. That is why sometimes we have to resort into using the formula method. So we shall stop there.